What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. I am your host, James Clifton, and this is my good friend, Gary Bennett, to talk about all things Aston Villa. We're going to do probably about half an hour here, and the main topic we are going to be focusing on is the Nicolas Jackson transfer merry-go-round. As always, it's never simple with Villa, is it? It's never simple. Even when we just want to buy a player, never that simple. But anyway, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And if you have any hypes left, hit that hype button as well. Let us know in the comments what you think as well. We'll also be talking briefly about the Real Sociedad game. Obviously, Villa lost 4-2 there, but it was an interesting game. It's a good run out for some players, and the youngsters are starting to show us what they're made of, really. And then also we will talk about the Indonesia All-Star 11, which will be fun as well. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But before we get to that, all me and Gary constantly think about is this.
Mate, core memory.
That is exactly what the Indonesia starting 11, the Indonesia Superstar Soccer 11.
Mate, you need to send me that, because when I do TikTok live for that game, that's what I'm opening it with. That's what's being played. I'm having it in the background playing all the way through the game.
If we've randomly just clipped out a thing there, it's because it's been copyright struck or something. But I doubt it. It's like, how old is that now? Surely the copyright's gone. I don't know.
Mate, that's almost as old as me. That's how old.
yeah, exactly.
That's got to be fair use, right?
Yeah, surely.
Anyway, aren't losing any money on International Superstar Soccer 64. We're all good, I think. I reckon.
God. Anyway, Gary, how are you doing, mate? How obviously season is fast approaching. Games are coming thick and fast now. It's a little bit weird still because the game, the senior players aren't quite back yet. It feels like so. How you doing anyway?
Yeah, good, mate. I had some fun yesterday, winding up TikTok by
that was brilliant.
With Emery had left the Villa, and mate, Sarah said to me today, she said, you know what the most crazy thing about that video was, is that so many people messaged you as if it was true.
Yeah. Mate, we need to put it on YouTube Shorts as well. So by the time this video goes out, it'll be on YouTube Shorts. And
I was just messing around because I had a very vivid dream the night before, right? Which was it was kind of funny. So very quickly, basically, I dreamt that I was Unai Emery, right? And obviously pissed off that our fucking players were going left, right, and centre. So I went round to Ollie Watkins' house to convince him to sign a new deal. Right? When I got there, he was sat behind his kitchen table, just surrounded by bags of McDonald's and all kinds of stuff, and he was just he looked about 3 stone heavier. And I went, right, Ollie, what the fuck's going on? You need to sign a new deal. He went, boss, I can't even sign my own name, right? And I went, oh, fuck this, I'm done, right? And quit. So I'm quitting. That's it. It's over. And then I basically ended up in a bar drinking shots, and then I woke up and I was like, but it felt, mate, the bit with Ollie Watkins was so real, right? I woke up going, what's going, mate? It was bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, I've had dreams before where I've got up and then when I was younger, and then I go out and tell my mates oh yeah, I think I dreamt once we got cable TV. I dreamt we got cable TV, and I went in. I was like, yeah, we got cable. I was like, yeah, now I'm gonna watch the wrestling and all that stuff. And then I remember getting home, and then my dad's like, what are you on about? We haven't got cable. I was like, mate, I was so confused.
Those dreams are the killers. I had one in 1990, the World Cup, right? I dreamt that my nan bought me all the England stuff. There was a shell suit that came with that England kit, and both kits in the blue and the white one. And I remember waking up in the morning, opening my wardrobe to go and put them on, and nothing there, mate. The sheer devastation. I think I ran into my mum's bedroom crying, going, "Where's all my England stuff? Where's all my England stuff?"
That's why you wear Villa shirts every day right now. It's because you were scarred by that. You were like, I didn't have it, but now you're like, now I have
to. And speaking of that, mate, because we didn't mention this, the leaked away kit yesterday. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna try and get it up now. Oh, annoyingly, my Mac has decided to just not allow me to get that. So I'll try and find the picture. What are your thoughts first? Tell me about it.
Mate, obviously there's been various rumours and mock-ups being thrown around the internet for months now, right? So it's not a million miles off it. I have seen it with the sponsor, without the sponsor, and yeah, I like it. I've got to say that I prefer it without the sponsor. I don't know if we're going to have the opportunity to purchase without the sponsor.
No, that defeat the whole point.
Look, I love the idea of the badge, although the mock-up of it seems weird. It's wonky, right? So I'm sure that
So I found like a couple of versions. So the one that you sent me, where Ollie Watkins was sat there in a chair with it, that was dodgy as hell. Because the video is just like flat.
Yeah,
but the shirt's all creased. And I'm like,
that actual picture of Ollie, mate, is from the kit launch for the home top. So it's kind of
right, there you go then. Yeah. But I don't hate the kit. Like I'm just looking at the kit now, like with the claret and blue. I quite like it with the claret and blue stripes. I think that's quite nice, rather than it just being black with the yellow.
Yeah. So yeah, it seems more gold, mate. I really like it, and obviously, and the reason why I really like it, one is because of the badge. I love the fact that it's just got the lion and that's it. And obviously, it's trifoil, mate, which I am obsessed with because it takes me back to the 80s where I was a kid and loved it. So, unfortunately, I've got to try and now work out a way of convincing Sarah to make sure.
Good luck with that, mate. No
chance. So it all starts again. People of YouTube and TikTok, right? I'm probably gonna have to set a goal. She's probably gonna go 25,000 followers, or fucking 11K followers, or.
Mate, just get it on just get the end of season sale. Just get it in the second half of the season. You don't need it at the start. Save the money. Anyway, right.
God.
And also don't fund the fact that they're charging 120 quid for these freaking shirts. It's ridiculous.
No, I know.
Anyway,
mate, have you seen it? It's like, stay away from the shirt. I can't help it. It's so beautiful.
I do remember that.
Reference for those.
Right. On to the main topic at hand here, Nicolas Jackson. So obviously there's no. I can't play for Villa. Anyway, so it's no secret that Unai Emery, Nicolas Jackson, there seems to be some kind of bromance there. Nicolas Jackson has spoken before about how Unai Emery is the best manager he's ever played for.
Yeah.
Unai Emery has obviously we've been linked with him every transfer window for like the last 2 seasons, I think. He was loaned out to Bayern Munich last season. They had an option to make it a permanent deal. They chose not to do that option. Obviously, the things that make this all complicated is the fact that we have obviously also done 2 deals with Chelsea already. One of them being the Morgan Rogers deal, where we sold him for 117 million. We also loaned Garnacho from Chelsea, which makes it all more complicated because you're only allowed to loan one player from another Premier League club during a season. So we're not allowed to do another loan. And the whole thing around the purchase is because of these UEFA rules and all this kind of crap. Basically, you're not allowed to buy a player from a team that you've just sold a player to for 45 days because otherwise it's deemed a swap deal.
Yeah.
Because basically people were like circumventing the rules before, and so they put this in place. Now, if we went those 45 days, the transfer window would have ended. So we can't do that. I don't know if there's anything you can do with like a deal sheet or anything like that. Probably not, because I think that basically means the deal is done when the deal sheet was put in. But basically, it's not we can't do it. It's we'd have to make a decision, because if we do it and we decide to buy Nicolas Jackson, because we can't loan him, if we decide to buy him, which I think has been mooted around 65 million.
Yeah.
We then have to amortize the profit from Rodgers over the period of the contract. So we don't immediately get that 100 million profit because he signed, I think, a 5-year deal. We would essentially get 20 million profit each season for the next 5 seasons on our books. So all of a sudden you're then like, oh, we have this 100 million, we've got an 80 million pound hole if that's what we were planning on using. How does that all work out? So I think it's unlikely. I think the option might be that we're looking at, okay, can we get something lined up to do it in Jan? Because that's obviously outside of that window. But I think it's unlikely that we'll be able to get him in at this period. What are your thoughts, Kaz?
Yeah, it's a fucking mess, isn't it? Let's be honest. It comes back to just the frustration of not being able to do stuff right, and this is the hoops we've got to jump through. Like just reading, I was reading yesterday about that. Everything you've just mentioned. Really, it's not that we could potentially do it. I think we've got like wiggle room of about. I think we're at. I don't know if it's true, so let me know in the comments. But apparently, we're running at 66% of the SCR, so we've got like a 4% ceiling for that 70, right? Which
does that include with the Morgan Rogers sale profit?
That's with the Morgan Rogers sale, yeah.
Yeah, so you're fucked if you did that.
Yeah, right. So because I think we're helped by the Champions League and Super Cup revenue, and roughly about 93 million for the Rogers sale. I think after we paid Middlesbrough, something like that. Right. So obviously the only way we can do it is by permanently is by buying him, but it's about how that deal looks with wages and costs.
Is there something weird you can do? Is it I mean, it's dodgy as hell if you're like, cool, well, we can buy him for 20 mil plus 40 million next season or something. You know what I mean?
It's something crap, mate. There's bound to be loopholes, but basically a straight signing now is probably unlikely because of that 45-day fucking nonsense, right? That's what it's set up for. So maybe
to be fair on that, that's not like unique to Villa. That's just a rule they have.
No, of course, and I get it, right? Because otherwise, everyone does it, and you end up scamming.
Oh, we were doing it, right? We sold Chukwuemeka for like 30 million, and all this. We were doing these weird deals.
But again, mate, then it comes back to the frustration rises compared to what Chelsea have actually done, compared to what other teams have done. Like it's mate. The level of frustration is not fair because we are being picked apart for these deals that and I've seen it online like it's dodgy dealings by Villa. No, we're trying to work within the rules of what they are, right?
It's not even the dodgy deal. Before these rules came in, if you were sat there and you went, right, we've sold a player to Chelsea for 117 million, and then we bought a completely unrelated player for 65, you wouldn't sit there and go, oh, that's a dodgy dealing. It's like, no, like it would have been dodgy dealing if we'd gone, okay, we'll sell Rodgers to you for 50, but we'll have Nicolas Jackson for 10. Like that's because the market value is completely wrong. But if you're doing it for the market value, I don't understand why this is like a problem.
Yeah. No, again, when we talk about it, I can feel my blood boiling about it, right? And it is frustrating because we are being, if you'd have said to me at the end of the season, right, you're going to have the most successful season on record that you can realistically remember, and then your whole squad's going to be decimated, and then you're going to be restricted on bringing people in, right? In a time when you've got Champions League football, a Super Cup to play for, and it just feels like a kick in the dick. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't mind like players leaving. Like the money for Rodgers is exceptional. You wouldn't say no, right? Tielemans was a bit of a surprise, but again, it's maximum profit because we got him on a free. So, business sense, it makes it's fine. But to not then be able to go out and replace these players is not fair. All they've done is weaken us. Now, look, I am still optimistic for the season because I totally believe in Unai, even after my dream when he said he was walking out. And it was he has got some good young players there, and maybe because we've said this season that they haven't managed to progress because he's had to buy players more ready-made to compete, and now he hasn't really got a choice because we can't go out and buy completely players anymore. We're scuppered, aren't we? So maybe these youngsters like Hemmings, like Maggio, like Lynch, who've all impressed, and Cisse, who've all impressed in pre-season so far. Look, we know it's a big step into the Premier League, but you'll never know if they can take it unless you take a risk on them, and we might have to. So I hope that we, as the season progresses, mate, that we just have the same sort of conversations we had last year where we're going, actually, we're underdogs. Everyone's written us off. We can't do it yet, but we're still competing because we have one of the best coaches and managers in the league. Right? So unlike Newcastle United, who...
I mean, that news has literally just broke. Eddie Howe... I haven't read it. All I saw was the headline. Has he left, or has he been sacked, or what's the deal?
It says he's left. Now, apparently, that's been discussed in the last 48 hours. He took control of the game last night against Bristol City, which they lost 4-1. But he apparently got the ball rolling a couple of weeks ago, according to Sky Sports. And I don't know if that is around, obviously, similar to us, players having been sold out from under his feet. It seems around the Guimaraes deal that he wants to leave, and Eddie Howe wanted to keep him, but he's
I can see that, because he's basically his entire the squad's just been gutted now, isn't it? Like they're literally Tonali going, Isak going last season, now Guimaraes going, and Anthony Gordon's gone, and it's like, well, how can he build? Like he's literally this is it's mirrors to us, right? Like, and we've been lucky that, well, not lucky, we've been able to maintain a level of performance that's kept us just in touching distance of being able to do some things,
mate. Because ultimately, as good as Eddie Howe is, he's nowhere near the elite level that Unai Emery is, right? And that is the difference, and that's why Newcastle have struggled. If Eddie Howe had have competed and got Champions League again last year, maybe those players don't leave. You know, it's fine margins to take, but.
So it looks, apparently on The Athletic, they're saying Matthias Jassler is poised to take over.
Is he from International Superstar Soccer 64? I'm sure he was a player.
Let's just get that back on again.
Pronounce his name again.
It's Matthias Jassler.
Oh, mate, that controller.
God. It's so good. Yeah, get that controller out. So he is Jassler, a 2-time Asian Champions League winner with Al Ahly. Okay, yeah. So it's the Saudi. This is Saudi because they're it's part of the PIF. Yeah, the PIF link. So he's German, spent his entire playing career with Hoffenheim, coached at Salzburg for 2 seasons, won back-to-back Austrian Bundesliga titles and the Austrian Cup. A bunch of things like that. What's that scratching?
Quaking in our boots, mate.
What's that noise? What's that?
You've got a video playing in the background. I thought that's the next one. You've got, what is that?
It's not.
What, mate, what are you watching in your own what is this? No, James is at least it's a science video, mate. It could have been a hell of a lot worse.
It's one of those restoration videos where they're like really ASMR kind of thing.
There we go. James' history is not like, you know, going to get him.
I thought you'd got like an N64 controller out and just going. Oh my god. Anyway,
I've just got last thing on Eddie Howe is a message to the Newcastle hierarchy and Eddie fans, because if that, I know that sounds like it could happen, but he's not coming. So let's not start the rumor mill that.
I literally
started before, right? Piss off.
If I hadn't have seen that thing on The Athletic about the replacement, I would have been sitting there going, "Let the rumor mill begin." No, there's no way. Like like I said, he'd be more hampered there than he is with us. So he doesn't make any sense. Like there's no change there. If anything, it's just sideways or down a little bit.
There's no change there, but what you're paying for is the coaching ability, right? Because look.
No, what I mean is for Unai, there's no going there doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense at all. Like, with how much he invested the Villa having him, and he's in Villa, I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, despite my nightmares, but it's always the rumor mill, and I just wanted to nip it in the bud before hopefully they announce this.
So literally, Nicolas Jackson, just on the actual not on the transfer around it and stuff. Obviously, I would assume that it would mean, well, like I said, the only way it would potentially be done with finances is, I would assume, if Ollie went, right? That's probably a conversation. Is it competing with Ollie? Would he be replacing Ollie? What happens with Tammy? Because obviously we want Maggio, but Maggio can't necessarily play. We don't know yet with that hearing and stuff. So
it's so frustrating. Like that, it's all frustrating because we are totally in this no man's land at the moment, right? I think maybe it doesn't happen till January. Like, will Watkins go? But because for us, it makes sense if we can keep Watkins till January, then sell him, and then bring Jackson in. He'll be a direct replacement, and you've got Tammy as backup again, right? Which is, because I don't see Tammy being first choice. I think Tammy's
probably okay. I think he's okay with it as well.
And that's the key, right? I think that's why Emery bought him. I think he was, I think he was just happy to be back at the Villa, earning a wage, kind of with the opportunity to get game time, but obviously not being the leader of the pack. And I think he showed in his performances last season that's probably the right thing to do. And if he's happy, that's what you need, right? Someone who's, because when he came on, at least he worked hard, he ran around a bit. He
very good backup, right? It's a very good backup.
Yeah. And he loves the club. And that's always been Emery's stance from the start of last season when we had all the drama with Emery and stuff. It was kind of like, I want players here that are 100% committed to Aston Villa. So if he is, then you take that, right? I think Nicolas Jackson could potentially happen because I think Unai Emery would want him because of the work he's done with him at Villarreal, because he respects him so much, and because Nicolas Jackson is absolutely obsessed with Unai Emery. Like, that interview was on Chelsea TV, and I remember watching it. And I remember the interview thinking he's going to say Maresca, right? Because obviously he's just been bought, and he's like, no, Unai Emery's the greatest coach I've ever worked under. Like, one day I'll play for him again, and he's like, dude, this is going out to Chelsea fans. What are you doing?
Yeah, these footballers aren't quite they haven't quite got the IQ between the.
Right, I loved it. He was honest, and I think in a world of social media where it's all, most of it is just nonsense and clickbait. Like, sometimes I strive for this, mate. That just being real is the way to go. Like, and I wish footballers were more honest, but we know that with media training, you can't.
I love that you're saying this when you've just had a successful video on TikTok where the first headline is Unai Emery's leaving.
I know, mate, but this is the tester, right? I said this like to Sarah, and I said it to you off air, that it's frustrating that clickbait is the stuff that works. It is. People just want the drama. They want and it is frustrating because that's one of my best performing videos, even though basically it's a load of nonsense. It was a bit of fun, right? But the headline was kind of Emery's left. Oh my God, Emery's left. You don't do that. Don't. I like the comments. Like, go and check it out. Like, it's mad, absolutely mad. And obviously it's not true. It was just a dream, right? But that's what it is, because the algorithm predicts that. They want to keep you on the page, so it's the hook, right? And that's the way we're going to have to go, mate. So apologies in advance, people, but there's going to be some more dry headlines coming through because that's what it's to stay on. Right? Otherwise, I'm going to have to go back to normal work, and we don't want that.
No, I want
that. Because that's less content for you guys.
And just to be clear, this is not clickbait. Aston Villa will be playing this weekend. Indonesia or Star 11
on international.
Yes. So let's move on to
what other team that we are playing on Tuesday? What they called PG Barnum.
PG
Batum, right? So that's not a real football team. That's definitely made up, and that is definitely a team in international superstar soccer.
BG Patum, sorry.
BG Patum.
Let me just have a look at BG Patum United. They are in the Thai Premier League. They what did they finish? I have no idea where they finished last season. It's not really giving me that.
Probably because they weren't in existence last season, mate. This is their first
season. Fourth. They finished fourth in the Thai League last season with 14 wins from 30 matches. They scored 45 goals, conceded 29, ended on 52 points, 2 points above Bangkok United. Yeah, so whatever that gives you, mate. I have no idea. Let me look at their squad. Let me see if there's any interesting.
We're so going to lose to them, aren't we? I can feel it now.
Just to be clear here, I mean, this is crazy, right? So when people talk about the Premier League being the richest league in the world and all these kind of things, this just puts it in perspective. So we are playing BG Patum United, and according to Transfer Market, the total market value, I think this is of their squad, is 7.35 million euros. Their most highest valued player there's two players. There's Raniel, who is a Brazilian centre forward, and there is Chanatip Songrasin, who is injured, and he's attacking midfielder, and they're both worth 700,000 euros each. So there's no one in here.
I mean, massive achievement to be worth 700,000. When you talk about football transfers, mate, it's just
ridiculous, isn't it? You're like sitting there going, 700k is nothing. Can you imagine if you were worth 700,000? Someone would buy you for like £1 million almost.
Mate, it's modern day slavery. We're going to Thailand to buy someone for £700,000. If you said that out loud, it sounds so dodgy. Do you know what I mean? And what are you getting for your £700,000? Well, he's quick.
Do you recognise any of these players? There is actually an English lad there. Interestingly,
so there's part of the world.
So there's Chanatip Songkrasin. You know what? Let me share the tab.
Get off the page of International Superstar Soccer and start reading the names out.
Here we go. So we got Chanatip Songkrasin, Raniel, Tomoyuki Doi, Krisada Kaman, Patrick Gustafsson. So he's part Swedish. Here we go. English lad, Ashley Coffey.
Centre forward.
Let's have a look at him. Let's have a quick look at Ashley Coffey. Here he goes. Look at this lad. Looks like an actor, doesn't he? From Leeds. He's currently 32 years of age. Where was he playing before? He played for Whitby.
Free transfer.
And then he's been in the Swedish league quite a lot by the looks of it.
Mate, fair, do you know what, right?
Right.
Always talking about playing at the top, but how cool would it be to be playing football for a living in Thailand, right? Yep. Which is a beautiful part of the world. Yeah, like fair play. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to score. I'll be rooting for him, mate. I'll back him to score. Might put a cheeky bet on him.
And then there's this lad as well, Leon James. He defensive midfielder. So a quick look at him. He
too ugly to put a photo on. Fair enough.
He's part Thai. Oh, to be fair, he was at Leicester Youth. He was in the Leicester Youth team, the under 18s, and then he's been in Thailand ever since. So, and he's been playing. So there we go. Learn a little bit about their players there.
There you go.
Give us any insight at all. Have absolutely no idea.
Is anyone going to that game? By the way, let us know in the comments. Are you in Thailand? And drop us a message.
Is it where is it? Is it in Thailand or is it like Japan? I think it's Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, it might be Japan. Or if you are going, just hit us up and let us know who you're going with, what your plans for the game. You live in Thailand or you're just traveling out there, every week.
I think what's the beer they have there? Oh, I remember having it when I was out there. Yeah, So I can't remember. I can't remember the beer. Thai beer.
It wasn't very memorable.
Oh, Chang. Yeah, it was Chang. It was Chang and there's Chang Singer, and then there was Leo. I don't remember seeing Leo very much, but it was Chang and Singer were the two. I quite like those South Asian beers. There were some really nice ones. Anyway, right. Anything else, Gaz, that you want to talk about or touch on?
Just think of something. Oh yeah, of course. Yes, mate. The Real Sociedad game, because we haven't really.
Oh, of course, yes.
Wanted to talk about the youngsters really, and the fact that Pau Torres got 45 minutes, which was amazing because the internet was awash with him.
Doesn't have an ACL. Apparently, and some outlets or some people were saying they saw him on crutches.
Mate, again, the wonderful world of the internet, right? Let's just not believe everything we read. It spreads like wildfire. And because I did a TikTok live when that was announced, and literally everyone came out, oh no, Pau is cropped. It's just, hang on, chill out. I've heard nothing. There's nothing official. They would definitely announce that if he'd done his ACL, because we'd be screwed. We'd have to try and get a replacement. So great to see him get 45. I didn't see how he played. I didn't see the game because I was at Ava's football training, so I just watched the highlights. And I didn't. If I'm honest, somebody did drop me a message on TikTok and say we got outplayed, and that actually for large periods of the game, Real Sociedad really kind of controlled the game.
Yeah, I would say that. I only watched some of it. I only watched it in bits, but it did seem that, to be honest, it was a pretty especially the first 20 minutes, which I watched more intently, it was pretty poor. Like it was great quality, if I'm honest. Yeah. But it's pre-season. It's all about fitness. It's all about minutes.
Yeah,
it's all
minutes,
about,
mate. But the results.
Magic got another goal. Keeps scoring. It was a bit of it was a predatory finish. It was a decent finish. It wasn't a world beater, but it was a good goal.
Mate, two things. I think one, Hemming. I wanted to talk about George Hemmings first because I thought his goal was excellent. Really took it very well. I really hope that he gets a chance because he's been in and around the squad for a while, right? And without really being used, he's been on the subs bench. But I read an article about him yesterday that he's been working really hard for the last year or so, kind of trying to be a versatile player, both footed, that similar to Jacob Ramsey being a ball carrier.
Looks like he's built up a bit.
Yeah. And you want to see that kind of hard work be rewarded. Now, I have no idea whether he's good enough because I haven't seen him play enough. If he has built up, that's probably one of the criticisms I would have said, that he needed to kind of be a bit more physical in the games that he has played. But yeah, he's clearly talented. Let's hope that he gets a chance. And then on to the man, Maggio. I just hope this guy goes on and becomes Villa's all-time Premier League goal scorer, mate, because
it's early days. I mean, we had some comments in the last video being like, just talking about, it's interesting because people were talking about like, he's only young, can't be throwing him on for loads of minutes and stuff. I'm like, I agree. If you're good enough, you're good enough. Like you think about some of these like Arsenal academy players that come through and they're like literally.
Mate, that's nonsense. You wouldn't know. People weren't saying that about Rodgers when he played every minute. Or we just accepted it.
Yeah. Or like these kind of players. It's like he's an absolute beast. And I'm not saying like start him every game or anything. I'm saying
no. Look, and that comment about is outlandish. But the reason why I say it is because when you look at a player and you see the potential in him through his stature and his movement. And not only that, his work rate. There was a moment in the game in the highlights where he makes a sliding tackle on the edge where he sprints and makes this brilliant kind of tackle and plays it out to Matson, right? And I was like, mate, like that for me, that gets it gets me excited because that's the kind of stuff that I get. I get so frustrated at Villa when you're watching players walk around. Rodgers did it last season. It really bugged me. Watkins was doing it last season. You go, mate, it's not acceptable. And that hunger, as a 17-year-old kid who's not bought into all the money and all the kind of stuff, he's like, I'm just here to play football, man, and I'm going to put everything on the line.
That's why we love Duran so much, right? Because he did similar. He just ran, just came on. Ran at players and he just scared the life out of them. This massive bloke just coming at you. At
the moment, it's just potential, but he's got the best manager in the country for me to bring out that potential. So obviously, he might not even be able to play at the start of the season. We're still waiting on this decision about this appeal. So, but if you can, get him in and around the squad, get him minutes, 10, 20 minutes, get him, because I think he's coming for the Premier League, mate. I think he'll be a handful.
I'll tell you what's weird with that hearing thing. Like, I mean, we don't know anything about it, but like it was, I can't remember when it was. It was like the 1st of July or something, I think the hearing was.
1st of July it was.
Even Jacob Tanswell was saying like, usually it's like 4 or 5 days, like kind of done. And it's been like a month.
It's been a month.
What's going on? Like, why is it taking so long? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You know why it's taking so long? Because it's the first appeal of its kind, apparently.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's because the case is obviously we talked about it before. He's played for Luxembourg. However, he is English and he's not played a competitive game for Luxembourg. He's played for the senior side, but I don't think it's a competitive game, right? So it shouldn't even be an issue. He's an English. He's from Enfield, right? Do you know what I mean? It's like why? So it's, I guess there's a real grey area, and they're just, I don't know but. Yeah, look, whatever happens with that, I think the potential in this kid is good. And I've watched him play 3 times now. Watched all his training videos on YouTube, and you go, okay, right? Because when I watch the training videos, I was like, okay, it's a training video, it's unopposed, but he looks like an absolute animal, right? Then you go, okay. Then it was, it's only against Walsall, but mate, Walsall League 2 side, I don't care. A 17-year-old kid holding a fully grown man like he's a piece of plasticine off him for his first goal was impressive. It really was, right? And then, obviously, 3 goals in pre-season. He's our top goal scorer in pre-season.
Also, I just can't stop thinking about that steamroll against Porto where he just literally just ran and bounced off him. I was just like, can you imagine? Like, it's just crazy.
So, look,
it'd be brilliant. It'd be really sick.
And this is what we're going to need. We're going to need if we're going to be successful this season, we're going to need some breakthrough players. I think that's going to have to happen because ultimately, if we can keep the spine and keep Martinez, keep Konza, keep Watkins, even if that is till January, or just for the first part of the season, then we can reassess and maybe have a little bit more wiggle room for transfers as well. Because if we're going for the likes of Nicolas Jackson, so it could all play into their hands. And despite the result, which is disappointing, 6 goals in the game must have been entertaining for the crowd there. Walkie from TikTok, he messaged me and said, "Oh, mate, the atmosphere was brilliant." And so I think that's something to look forward to. Getting back to Villa Park, getting the atmosphere going. And do you know what, right? I'm really excited about Villa Park because people, are going, "Oh, it's a reduced capacity, 37,000." But mate, we had 32,000 in the Championship regularly. That was our average attendance, and the atmosphere at Villa Park was fucking electric.
It'll be the hardcore, right? It's only the hardcore. Yeah. Like, as in, I'm looking forward to it because also I feel like the fans will feel like they need to do something. Like, as in, they need to lift everyone because that stands closed. So I feel like every game it's gonna be like, come on, like let's get going. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm hoping, mate, that we can make it a fortress because obviously there was criticism last season about it, and I just hope that we, like you say, with that reduced capacity, we can have Villa Park as a fortress and go on one of these other mazy long distance undefeated runs that we know Emery can pull out the bag. And I know that the squad looks very different, and there's still weeks to go before we know what it's finally going to look like, right? But it's exciting and it's just brilliant. The last couple of weeks have been brilliant to have stuff about Villa to talk about, right? Yeah, and so I'm just excited for it all.
Yes, and obviously, thank you everyone who has subscribed, and thank you everyone who's been watching these videos. The numbers have been mad over the past week or so, so hopefully we can keep that going. Right, that's it. I think that's probably it. We'll be back on Monday as always for our weekly thoughts, and so obviously we'll talk about the Indonesia
International Superstar Soccer
11. Yes, we'll talk about that, and then obviously BG Patum as well. Honestly, I think it's just ridiculous. It's not as bad, but it's almost like when we talked about playing.
It's all part of the global plan, right? We're spreading far and wide. We're going out to Asia because we know that that's a market we need to try and kind of get into. We could almost do with buying an Asian player, really. Because if you think about what Spurs have done because of Son, like it's just mad, and the money out there in terms of what they want. Because obviously they're watching 32-year-old Ashley Coffey in there when they're tuning into the beauty of the Premier League. So yeah, that's a market we do need to break. I did read, very quickly, final thought, that the plan for the next 5 years is to really push that global reach, right? And to kind of, I think we're already at, like, we're in a good position, like financially now, like in terms of what the club are trying to do, like and if we can, I don't know all the ins and outs and the figures, but it sounds like that the club do, and I know we've just got to try and be patient, and we've got to try and be successful. What we don't want is what Spurs had to do, which was invest in all the commercial stuff, but their team was shit for 20 years, right, and didn't win anything. And so, but I think we're a different breed under Unai Emery. I think, like, the fact that he's done this 4 times and he's going again. He must love this, like, as a challenge, because.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking about, like, with the whole, like, kind of squad clear out thing. People talk about changing the players and, like, refreshing on the pitch. I don't think it's just about that. Like, can you imagine the mental toll that this is taking on these players with this manager every season? And you're it's like, right, we've got to go again. Basically, it's a blank slate. You've done nothing.
Yeah.
Let's go again. And it's just like, oh, mate, the mental fortitude you have to have for that, doing that like 4, 5, 6, 7 years on the chart. It's just mad.
It's mad because if you look at the background, like the backroom staff being changed, they've obviously gone, look, mate, Paco's been with him forever, and he's like, I don't know if I can do it again.
I was thinking about this, and I was also thinking, like, because I remember when Unai came in, right, and he said there's 2 aims. 1 is win a trophy, and 2 is get Europe. He's done both. And he's still there. So obviously he's going, right, I know I want to kick on with this project, but maybe Paco and that were like, you know what? The job we came in to do is done.
Mate, I'm convinced, and this is just my own opinion, I think he wants that league title. I think January last year, we were right in it, right? And
he's got a taste for it.
Scuppered us. And I think I think with the Arsenal situation, with the judgment that he's had at PSG, I think to do it with Villa would be. I'm not saying we will, but I'm just saying as a motivator for Unai Emery to win the Premier League with Aston Villa when everyone's going to say you got no fucking chance and you're out of your depth and all that kind of stuff. With just relying on his pure coaching ability would be arguably the greatest success in the Premier League era for me. And I know that's biased, but in terms of what he's had to deal with and under the sanctions that he's been working under for the last 5 years, it would be nothing short of sensational and a big 2 fingers to all the billions that have been spent. Because Ben from PM Talks has put a video out today. I just caught it before we got online about our net spend over the last couple of seasons, 14 million plus 14 million pounds, mate. Right, last couple of seasons. Yeah, 1-4. Right, we're down at the bottom, whereas Chelsea negative 900 million. Right, and you go Man United negative 500 million, and it needs to be spoken about more, and the pundits need to speak about it more, because what we don't get the plaudits, and people will go and take the piss, whatever. And I'm sure we'll have them in the comments.
We'll just go, it's just the rules, and all this kind of we got to abide by the rules, blah blah blah. I'm just like, can you not look at that and go, this makes no sense? I understand if it's like, okay, we're finishing mid-table.
You spend too much on wages.
Yeah, oh man, and then we're keeping just kind of keeping up pace with those above us, kind of thing. But no, we are literally doing this on a shoestring budget, and we are blasting that. We are gate crashing this cartel every season for the past 4 years. Now, this season, and like I've said on the previous video, and like I've said to some people in the comments, I think this is going to be the hardest season so far, because
I don't disagree
the change in the decimation to the squad, that stability is gone, because some of those real not mainstays, because Tielemans was only, I think, 2.5 years, 3 years or something, and obviously Rodgers was near that long either. But they're such core parts of our squad and what happened last season and how we kicked on. And to lose them is massive. You're having to bed in new players. We're bringing in younger players. They're not as experienced. So it's like you got that, whilst also trying to overachieve, whilst also all those other clubs around us are spending hundreds of millions of pounds. This is easily and we're playing in the Champions League this season. This is easily the hardest season I think we've ever had.
100%. But in Unai we trust, mate, because again, as I just said it a few minutes ago, with that core, right? If Kamara stays fit, McGinn, Konza, Watkins up front, with the likes of these young, Garnacho, Alisson, we've got pace to burn. If we can bed them in properly, we could be, Manzambi, these are players that could set the Premier League alight, but we won't know that until it kicks off, right? But I trust in Unai Emery. I think he knows what he's doing. We may have to be a little bit patient, but watch this space, mate, because I think it might be another slow start while the team gets to know each other a little bit. But what we've got that we didn't have previously is, if we keep that core, is an experienced core that have won a trophy, that know how to compete at the highest level, that can pass down that wisdom and experience to the younger players, that could just get it to click. So it's all about that chemistry now. So I'm excited by it, and I think you should be too. Come on, the Villa boys.
All right, on that note, mate, sing us out.
Yeah, as always, we'll see you on Monday, people. Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. Peace.